I was going to make the last video about my new website, but something has happened. I went to my Twitter page yesterday and I noticed that, I was going to check to see if I was still losing followers because I used to have like 14,000 followers. And I've noticed in the past 6 months it's dwindled down to about 13,500. So I went to check and it said I had like 1,900 something followers. I mean, I lost these all like in 24 hours. So I tweeted, I said, wow, I just lost about 12,000 followers. Actually, it wasn't 12,000 because if I had like 13,500 and I was down to like 1,900, it's more like I lost about 11,000, but that's still a lot. I lost like 11,000 Twitter followers overnight. And I'm going to let you know what happened to those Twitter followers. I'm going to read you a conversation between Zach tweeted to me, and I'll read my part, and then I'll read his. I'll just get in character, and you'll be able to tell who is who. Okay. Wow, I lost about 12,000 followers in one day. And this is Zach. Murdered. That's horrible. They were all raped to death by a giant blue Jesuit bird. Where did this happen and when? It happened in their homes the night before they were removed from your Twitter followers. I presume. And then I said, wow, boy, that's some bird. I presume you all killed that bird. And then he said, it's still at large. The bird is named Tweeter and looks just like the Twitter logo bird, except it's real and has feathers and has a really large penis for raping. You might say, oh my God, that's just too bizarre to be true. Well, let me tell you something. Jesuit science is bizarre. You got to understand, Satan has been meeting with the Jesuit leaders almost since the beginning of its formation back in 1500. Satan has supernatural powers, and the UFOs are his fallen angels. And so they get technology from the UFOs and from Satan. And it's pretty bizarre. Like those of you know a little bit of my history, like the Gail android and everything. So yeah, when you got a leader of an organization that meets with Satan just about every week, at least every week, and that's what Loree McBride's doing right now, he's obviously going to use some of his bizarre technology. Have you all ever read the book of Revelation? Have you noticed some of those bizarre creatures in that book? I bet a lot of those are going to be satanic inventions, like that army of locusts that comes from the east, In fact, Jesus even told me that I and my men are going through what the tribulation saints will be going through. So we are like a foretaste. But I was so sad when I heard about that. I said, Jesus, why isn't my Gail shield protecting my Twitter followers? That's so unfair. Just because they got on my Twitter and Loree, I was thinking, why in the world would Loree create a bird to go out and attack all her followers? And, my men are keeping a lot of secrets from me right now. I can tell. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if my Gail shield has gotten big and they don't want me to know about it. And maybe it's killing off Loree McBride Jesuits. And I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if it's because my sister's running Loree McBride's military, and I can see why they wouldn't want me to know about that. So, and she could very well be doing that because she's been BFF with, she's a narcissist just like Loree McBride. And Loree McBride's been a terrible influence on my sister, though my sister's not an angel either. And, they're both narcissists. So anyways, as you can see, I created a page devoted to this topic. And I'm sponsoring a man he's not an American. He sounds like he's from India. I'm not sure where he's from, but he's very intelligent. He's written a book about the narcissistic personality disorder. And I invite you all to listen to his videos to get an idea on what it is that goes in through the mind of people like the Brent Spiner clone, Loree McBride, and her Jesuit supporters. I've really been trying to figure out why is it that some Jesuits like Zach Knight and Rule 13 have come to our side and the others have not. And I think I figured it out. The ones that have not come to our side have narcissistic personality disorder. I don't believe Zach's ever had that, neither has Rule 13. They were borderline. I mean, borderline narcissistic personality disorder. They had narcissist tendencies, but not full-fledged narcissistic personality disorder. And this guy that I have, whose videos I sponsor on this page, he talks just like a clinical psychologist. He's very impressive. He feels that Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton both have narcissistic personality disorder. And I tend to disagree with him on that. I think Hillary does, but I don't think Trump does, though I do think Trump is a narcissist, but he wouldn't die over it. And he says there are far too many amateur psychologists out there who are diagnosing Trump and Clinton and everybody with narcissistic personality disorder, and they are not qualified to render a diagnosis. And they're making the true diagnosis of narcissistic personality disorder seem like a joke. And it really, you might say, what's your opinion of psychology and psychiatry? Well, I used to think that it was of the devil as a Christian because I was taught that by Peter Ruckman that I used to follow. But Gerard Butler, who's on my marriage list and is a psychiatrist, he said it is a valid profession, but Jesuits have kind of messed it up a bit. So what I think is going on with psychology and psychiatry, and I agree with this guy when he says there are a lot of psychiatrists and psychologists that are narcissists. I agree with him. And they're probably working for Loree McBride, or they were working for Zach Knight before. But I'm really burdened about you guys, about this bird. It's still on the loose. I'm thinking, Lord, can't you use my Gail shield to protect them? And I'm hearing some conversation brain to brain from Brent, and I'm not sure if it's accurate because brain to brain has been notoriously inaccurate lately because of all these bombs that Loree's dropping. But you know what I think? I think that I noticed the bird's not coming after me. I think she created that thing to try to cut down the numbers that are supporting me, because I think my Gail shield is going out into the universe and is starting to kill off Loree McBride Jesuits. And she thinks that by killing off, my Gail shield gets stronger when we get more followers. So Loree's probably thinking if she kills off my followers, my Gail shield will weaken and she can defeat it. But I don't think the Gail shield works that way. It's true that it becomes stronger if I get more followers, but I believe that the Gail shield considers people my followers even if they became followers and then were killed. In other words, about the 11,000 to 12,000 people that she killed that were my Twitter followers, that I believe most of them are in heaven. I believe my Gail shield still considers them my followers even though they're dead and in heaven. In other words, the Gail shield is programmed to protect me, and it gets stronger when I have more followers. I guess that's because I'm not sure how it works exactly. I don't completely have the shield figured out, but Jesus did say that he didn't design the shield to protect the world. That's his job. The shield is just designed to protect me. However, if I wish for it to protect people, sometimes it will listen to my heart. Zach doesn't recommend I do this because he says I strain my shield because it wasn't designed. But I'm really distressed over people dying just for being my Twitter followers. And I've got an idea. You know what? I noticed that those of my Twitter followers who support me financially are still there. Like who are my Patreon supporters. So I've got an idea. I think that my Gail shield, if you are a follower that gives me some financial support, even if it's only $1 a month or $1 every couple months, I have a page at my website where you can donate like whatever amount you want through PayPal at my WordPress.com site or my GabrielChana.blog. I haven't gotten $1 from it yet, but what I think is really happening is that I'm hearing brain to brain that we've actually gotten millions of dollars, but my men are funneling that to the Church of Gail banks, and they're using that to finance our military operations and to keep my men afloat. Because you see, because of the onslaught of Jesuit clones in Hollywood who are impersonating Matthew McConaughey, Gerard Butler, Brent Spiner, they've lost their celebrity income. And to stay afloat, they're depending on money made from movies, from my writings, like Church of Gail or Gabriel Chana Fox News Movie Studios. And so basically, we're working as a team. I've given them permission to use some of the money from my website and my writings to help them support themselves or however they want to use it, because we work as a team. I protect them, they protect me. And so that's cool. The thing is, though, I believe that if you give me some financial support, my Gail Shield is an intelligence shield. It will see you as essential to my survival. And so therefore, because it's programmed to protect me, it will protect you. So go ahead and donate like maybe $1 a month or even less, or $1 every couple months through my website, or become a Patreon supporter. And I'll have a page for that underneath this video. I've got a page at my site dedicated to that. And I believe if you do that, my Gail Shield will protect you from the tweeter bird. Even $1, maybe even every 6 months. Just to keep you, just so that my Gail Shield will consider it essential for you to stay alive. You may say, how would the Gail Shield protect us from the tweeter bird? Well, I'm not sure this is correct, and I might have to make a corrective video later, but I'm hearing brain to brain that tweeter bird tried to attack one of my staunch financial supporters. I'm not going to mention this person's name because they want to be private. And the tweeter bird recognized that supporter needed to be alive to keep me alive and off the streets. I mean, even though I don't get a lot from my supporters, it is enough to keep me off the streets. And so the tweeter bird went in and it blocked the bird from attacking my supporters by my tweeter bird somehow, not tweeter bird, my Gail Shield somehow reprogrammed that tweeter bird. And this tweeter bird apparently, this is what I'm hearing brain to brain, it's got the ability to use transporter technology to remove windows and doors or whatever, get them out of the way, enter people's homes, rape them and kill them, and then leave, and then use like Star Trek transporter-like technology to replace the door and window, and then just take off and go after its next victim. And Loree McBride programmed the tweeter bird that if you kill it, it automatically clones itself and pops right back up, just like her. So that's the reason I think it was her idea, because it's operating just like her, so it had to be her idea. And she thought she was brilliant to do this. But it looks like my Gail Shield has outsmarted Loree McBride. What it does is when the tweeter bird tries to attack me or one of my supporters, it goes in and reprograms the tweeter bird to see Loree McBride Jesuits as the enemy and not me. So what happened, that tweeter bird, this is what I'm hearing brain to brain, I could be wrong, and I might end up, making a corrective video. The tweeter bird went in to attack one of my staunch financial supporters, and my Gail Shield got in between the bird, and when the tweeter bird contacted my Gail Shield reprogrammed the tweeter bird, flung it out into deep space. Apparently, Loree's space fleet is out in deep space because my Gail Shield's killing off Loree McBride Jesuits. And that's why she created tweeter bird. She thought that way she could outsmart the Gail Shield. She's been dropping bombs on my Gail Shield, and from what I understand, brain to brain, my Gail Shield has been flinging the bombs back onto Loree, including the germ bombs, and she's been getting sick. And I think sometimes they go around wearing like those hazmat suits just to protect themselves from their own bombs that are being ricocheted back onto their space fleet. So Loree thought, oh, I know how to outsmart that Gail Shield. I'll create a tweeter bird, and it'll go out there and the Gail Shield is not going to be threatened by the tweeter bird because it's not attacking Gail. It's just killing off her supporters. So I think Loree thinks by killing off my supporters, it'll weaken the Gail Shield. But my Gail Shield did apparently protect one of my financial supporters when that tweeter bird came in and reprogrammed that tweeter bird and said, your job is not to kill Gail's Twitter followers, but to kill off Loree McBride Jesuits. And it flung that tweeter bird out into deep space, and the tweeter bird apparently has an oxygen compartment around it, kind of like Angelina Ballerina had, so she could travel through space. It's like she had an oxygen compartment right around her, so she could travel through space, kind of like a rocket. And the tweeter bird apparently got the same technology, so it went back out to Loree's space fleet and it started attacking them. So now it's attacking Loree McBride Jesuits. But we wanted to keep doing this, people. So donate to me, just so that so the Tweeter bird will think it's necessary to protect you all, and so it'll attack Loree and her followers.